This is it. This is the moment where we uncover all the secrets behind the Great Circle. The titular, the one and only, the often imitated, but never duplicated, Great Circle. Or something, I don't know. We save, we rescue Gina, and now we gotta go up there. Can I do this without getting seen even once? Probably not. So let's, are there any large objects nearby that I could, ooh, like this? What is this? Oh, this is a, well, I guess I can use it as a weapon, right? Or he's gone. Come on. Stop moving. Plonk. I don't like using a gun as a melee weapon because I don't trust these things in this game. But beggars can't be choosers, I suppose. Just don't turn around. Well, I can fix that for you. How'd you like eternal sleep? Now, where are we going? Up there. How would one... I thought there'd be a main staircase, but it seems that there was not. There was not a main staircase. That was... No. No. God. Damn it. Come on, get him, Gina. Get him. Get him, Gina. You got this, Gina. I believe in you. Ah. Get down, Gina. I like how they don't even care about her, they only care about me. And she can be, I mean, I can be in broad daylight too and they can still not care. As has been proven many times in this game. But I will eventually, like, if I stay in broad daylight, I will eventually get caught. Whereas, I just need to, like, I can stay in broad daylight for like 90% of the time and then just dip out for the last 10% and they'll forget I exist, whereas she doesn't even have the 10%. She can just stay out there all the time. And they don't care. And definitely no one notices this. That was easier than I thought it was going to be. Was that it? Did we do it? It's too easy. It's on its way. Which way are they gonna face? Wait, is this gonna... Oh. Probably should have looked up before I did that. To see if I was gonna get crushed. Alright, let's try getting... I guess I can't climb any further. Okay, I was gonna try to get above the lift and surprise them, but I guess not. I guess that's, not in the cards today. So let's try option B. Option B is just hide here and wait for them to leave. I like option B. Option B is pretty cool. I was afraid I was gonna accidentally leave her behind, but I guess she...
Yeah. It's called a ziggurat.
What are you staring at? This place is truly spectacular.
And all. About 2000 BC. Built by King Urnammu.
Is it stuck? Oh, there's
Imagine that. No power.
So we have to climb all the way down there.
Why? You're not up for it?
Perhaps I was misinformed. Perhaps this final level will be more temple and exploration centered than I thought. I thought it was going to be full-on combat and stealth, but it looks like we may in fact have one last place to explore. That'd be pretty cool. Can I send you, can Can I send you up? Oh, wait, no, I wanted to... No, I wanted to be able to jump out as it was going up. I just wanted to get the elevator out of the way so I could leap across to the zip line. What do you think? Should we just go for it then? I was gonna make things easier, but I think we might just have to go for it. Oh, never mind. It's not even a whippable thing. It's the thing you push X on once you get there. Can I shimmy along up to the side? Okay, I can shimmy along to the side. I was very, very lost for a moment there. I probably should have fallen off there, but that's alright. Oh boy. This is gonna be a long hike down there. And there's no YOLO points that I can... I was just saying that, Gina.
Please hold.
And there's no, YOLO points
No power.
that I can hit, or that I can safely rely on.
I got it.
Gina said she saw a generator up here. Oh, yep, that sure is a generator. And that's a bandage, which I will actually use right now. For when we inevitably have to deal with a final boss of some sorts.
It worked.
Now, how easily can I get back? Also, could I just drop down there? As we may recall from the first level, like the intro to Vatican City, some jumps that you'd think you'd be able to survive, and that you in fact provably can survive, you actually can't, just because it's slightly off to the left or right of where the game wants you to go. It's really not that well equipped to deal with. Please tell me it maintained the generator being... Oh, you're a little bitch, aren't you? Oh. That's even stupider. I thought it wanted me to get back up to where I was and then take the lift up from there to down here. I didn't realize the lift was automatically coming down. But if the lift is automatically coming down to meet me where I was, then that just makes even less sense for why it would teleport me all the way back up there instead of checkpointing me here. Oh, tell me I got stuck again.
Blocking the lift.
I'll see what it is.
Is it a giant boulder? Is it a giant armadillo?
I think you can make it.
Not a problem.
Make... Oh. Where am I going now? Over there? Or do you just want me to lower myself down? I'm gonna assume you want me to lower myself down. Let's drop down like there. Yeah, that's good.
Have you found the problem?
Yeah, I see it. Here we go.
It's working.
Good thing it stopped here for some reason. I thought I was gonna have to get onto it as it was coming down. Not entirely certain why it stopped there. Oh, that's a lot of dead guys.
Oh no.
And like recently dead guys.
Brave fight.
Locus isn't here.
Why would Locus be here?
He was the one who caused the distraction so I could get you back to safety. Which is all working out swimmingly.
What? You guys are friends now?
I need some help.
Madre mía. that what I think it is?
It's Noah's Ark.
It's real?
This wasn't stranded, it was placed deliberately a long time ago.
What does Noah's Ark have to do with the stones?
I don't know yet. But we need to find them before Voss figures it out.
What if he already knows?
That tent. Looks like that's the only way into the Ark. No. Wait.
What?
If we're both caught, Voss gets the stones. I'll go down, find a safe way through. You stay here.
I want to come with
you.
you.
Stay here with the stones until I come back. Okay.
What if you don't come back?
You'll have one hell of a story to tell.
All right, this is it. This is probably the final big combat/stealth challenge. It's all the way across the compound. What is this? Shovel. Good. I like shovels. I like heavy bludgeoning weapons that don't also double as... I don't understand this game. Just run. I do not understand this game's stealth mechanics. Because sometimes you're crouching behind the enemies and it's an instant kill, and sometimes it just isn't. Oh, fuck you. What? There's no... Sure, just kill me. I hate stealth. I fucking hate stealth games. I can't tell you how much I hate playing this shit. This is not what Indiana Jones games ever were. This is not what this should be. But it's what this is. For some stupid fucking reason, that's exactly what this is. First three guys are easy to take out, because this guy stands over here. Well, I should say, it's easy to take them out as long as the game decides to let you instantly stealth kill them. Which sometimes it just doesn't. It sometimes just straight up doesn't let you do that. But if it does let you do that, it's very easy. Just wait for this guy to come walking back across the bridge. He'll go camp out over to the left. Because all enemies are blind and deaf in this game, they won't even notice anything. Wait for him to stop moving. Then go bap. And then, just to be on the safe side, not that it's gonna make a difference, we throw him over the cliff. Now let's see if we... Well, I guess we found out where the other guy came from. Well, let's take you out right now. Don't blow the whistle. Alright. That's the right side cleared. Anyone paying attention? Looks like no one's paying attention. What is this? Broom? Sure. And then there's those guys up ahead. They're just standing there. Oh, I see. There's a whip point. And again, enemies in this game are absolutely deaf. So they won't hear me do this. And they certainly won't see me do this. Hammer. Alright, it's a straight shot to the tent. If I just let this guy pass. Is he going to keep walking or is he going to turn around? I can handle either of them, but I need to know which one you're going to do. Okay. Going for the turnaround. Fuck off. Fuck off. I swear to God, I hate this shit. I absolutely fucking hate this shit. And just... This time, I'm just not even gonna bother with you. I'm just gonna go straight to the tent. Because clearly trying to engage the enemies is... Because it doesn't want to be an action game. It wants to be a stealth game. It'll try to trick you otherwise, but it's only interested in being a stealth game. So trying to engage the enemies is just a fucking mistake.
Lucas. I'm gonna get you out of this, pal.
I must admit, Dr. Jones, I was not expecting the Giants to attack. It gave me quite a headache.
What did you do to him?
Horse tranquilizer did the trick. Are you not impressed? You found the Ark of the Covenant, yes, but I found Noah's Ark.
What makes you think it's the real one?
Oh, come on, Indiana! Please. Isn't it time we dispense with the pettiness already? Why don't you and I have a meeting of the minds instead? Something more befitting of this glorious, historic moment we find ourselves in. What I'd like to do is put the guns down.
Go ahead. I'll knock your teeth out.
Fair warning. I have mastered the lethal Japanese hand-to-hand combat art of karate. Or I can just have my guard shoot you. Tell me, Dr. Jones, what do you know about the myth of the Great Flood?
Which one? There's thousands to choose from. You have the classic from the Hebrew Bible, the Sumerian creation myth, the Great Flood of the Chinese Ganyu, the Blood Deluge of Ymir, and of course there's the numerous Greek myths. Well, the names of the survivors change. Noah, Pyrrha, and Deucalion.
They all point to the same real event. I will tell you everything I know. And after, we'll have ample time to knock each other's teeth out.
Floods have happened since the dawn of time. They're just stories.
Well, every good story is true in one way or another. And I know one you haven't heard of. Please come. Come. From an excavation in North Africa. It details the story of the flood myth and its connection to the Great Circle. The Metatron, the voice of God, was sent down to instruct a mortal man, let's call him Noah, to build a giant vessel. The Ark. The angel gave Noah 17 stones, all imbued with the power to fold the earth. Yes! 17 stones, 17 words. Each stone connected to one of the locations of the Great Circle. Noah used the stones to gather animals from around the world, and then, after the flood was over, to repopulate the earth. And the stones were left hidden at each of the Great Circle sites under the protection of this ghastly race of giants.
The Nephilim.
Yes. Some legends blamed the flood on them, so they needed redemption. But over time, the stones were lost, stolen, forgotten. So the Giants formed an alliance with the Vatican to seek out and find the stones again. To keep them for men like us.
Men like you.
Tell me, Dr. Jones. Where's Miss Lombardi?
Oh, she's gone. Long gone.
That is a shame. Because I have something she would want to hear.
This is Laura Lombardi, aboard the SS Comet. Boss, if you hear this, your experiment failed. The ship is stranded on a mountain. The captain wants me to perform the experiment again, to get us back to safety.
And how
But I
the
refuse.
actual fuck
I'd rather die
did
with the
you
stone
get
than
here
live with it.
when the only viable route for me to reach this point was to scale up a wall that's only scalable with my whip? Because all the other guards
You will
had a
never
chokehold on that bridge.
Perdóname, Gina. Te ho mentito.
Va all'inferno, Voss!
Je kunt hier reinkommen. Drawn to the memory of your dead sister like a rat to a stinking piece of cheese.
Hat die Steine nicht.
Natürlich nicht. Das Mädchen hat sie. Your weakness for the fairer sex has caused you to make many questionable decisions. Da seid ihr endlich wie entzückend.
Boss, listen to me. You're messing with powers beyond your control.
You should know by now, Indiana Jones. I am always in control.
Gina.
Pardon me for interrupting you two little turtle-täubchen, but pay attention, Dr. Jones. You are about to witness history being made. Now, as your dear sister found out the hard way, using just a single stone is extremely unpredictable, completely useless for warfare. Now, we need all the stones.
But you don't have the last one.
Inserting the stones into the wheel of the Ark and speaking the words in their correct order will grant me the power to travel to any location I want in an instant. The gift from God given unto Noah, and now given unto me. Imagine this gift in the hands of the mighty German Wehrmacht. A panzer division appearing out of nowhere in the middle of Times Square, Washington, D.C., or in front of your university. Your friends, your family, your entire nation would be groveling before our feet within a single day. When you write about this, Miss Lombardi, remember Emmerich Voss, with 2 M's and 2 S's, like SS. The Ish Abmet. Ojelaim. Zohavnichim. Arolvim. Gilatzverim. Shirami Tum. Shekin. Moten Ijan.
Abek Maga Imbalim
Gan Shural.
Abek Maga Imbalim
Avikruan. Imad Beirut. Ma Dayara. Dream Hikme.
Voss! You have to stop!
Quiet!
You don't know what you're doing!
Of course I do.
Noah was chosen by God!
Sheletrem. Raven Kaan. Ovid Naim.
Bring Lavet Ni Yam.
Don't say the last...
Goyets. Rael. Why are you laughing?
What did you think would happen? Lucas first.
You did this stuff. You sabotaged my experiment.
No, boss! This is your own doing, not mine!
Lies! This was perfect! I'm going to kill you all!
Oh, what are you gonna make me do now? Blow up some balloons? Make shadow puppets?
You're not going anywhere.
Wait, don't tell me. It's another one. It's just like every other boss in the game.
No one can protect
We just
you
punch
now.
the shit out of him until he dies.
Your fault, Jones.
No one to blame but yourself.
And I also don't have my bandages anymore. Oh! Wow, that's actually the coolest thing the game has done so far with the boss fight. He jacked my whip. That's legit awesome. Why didn't the game do more shit like it's like that actually makes him a proper boss fight. He does something unique that none of the other bosses in the game do. That's the same thing that happens in the Dragons of 3D. They take your essences away in the final battle. That's cool. He actually uses your whip against you. That's legit. Like that's something that's actually worthy of praise. Also, I dodged, I didn't jump, but sure.
This is your fault, Jones.
No one to blame but yourself.
Unfortunately, it seems like the boss is still gonna come down to just mindlessly mashing buttons until he eventually dies. But you know, for that alone, it automatically gets more points than literally everything else in this stupid fucking game. Like honestly, genuinely, no sarcasm, probably the best fight in the game so far. Although, how far away? From how far away can he use that whip? Like if I run to the other, if I run to the other side of the boat, can he still? Oh, of course it's an invisible wall. Of course it's an invisible wall. Of course it is. I was wondering about that. I was wondering how they would prevent you, how they would prevent. Yeah, like there's no. I'm pretty sure if the whip had that much range, I would definitely. There were definitely jumps in this and that I tried to make in this game, but that I just wasn't able to because the whip isn't actually that long. But when it's in his hands, apparently it is. So that's really cool. The fact that I can just run all the way down to the end of the boat, like I thought, yeah, like that's there to prevent you from cheesing the boss. They just give him an unlimited fucking whip, I get, or a whip with no limit to the range, I guess I should say.
No one to blame but yourself.
I swear I'm gonna get so sick of all this dialogue by the end of this. I'm telling you right now. Oh, I'm also sick of that crane, that fucking karate crane move that you do.
No one to blame but yourself.
Also, I'm swing. There is some like I keep swinging at him, and it just keeps not doing anything. Like it's clearly connecting with him, but it's just not actually responding. Like I swing right at him. You can see me swing right at him, but it just the attacks just bounce off him for absolutely no fucking reason at all. Look at that! Look at that! You notice how they don't actually show him swing the whip because they know that like there's no way he should actually have a whip that's that fucking long because you don't have a whip that's that fucking long. Look at all those swings directly at him that didn't fucking do anything. I'm starting to realize that it actually. Getting whipped like this is to my benefit because it recharges my stamina automatically. So like, why wouldn't I just always do this? Yeah, whip. Yeah, like they just don't show the whip. Never mind. The whole whip pulling, it's nowhere near as interesting as I thought it was going to be. And also, did I mention that he takes 90 million hits to go down? Like I don't even. God, such a massive bullet sponge. It's such a shit effect. Like it so obviously wouldn't reach me. It so very obviously would not reach me. But it just does. It's gonna keep doing this again and again. Just run away so I can let my stamina recharge and then punch him a couple times. Wait for Indy to allow me to run again. A few more good hits in there. Run again. This is such garbage. Genuinely, I must have been out of my mind when I said... It looked... I was so excited when I saw him use the whip because I thought, oh, that's such a cool twist, but it's just, mechanically, it's so one note. Lame. L-A-M-E lame. To quote a game that's, well, okay, I don't want to, I was about to say something really hyperbolic. I was going to say, to quote a game that's better than this. Like, I don't want to go that far. But to quote a game where I don't think anything in it is quite as bad as some of the lows of this game, how long is this going to go on? Like, this is just crap. There's nothing interesting about what I'm doing right now. Look at the whip. Look at his fucking, this most polished game. Every other Xbox game sucks compared to this. Halo sucks, Forza sucks, every video game sucks except Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. It's the greatest video game to ever be made. What fucking garbage, by the way? Look at that shit. There's literally no way to react to that. He just instantly, in less than a second, kicks his stupid fucking leg up and just immediately immobilizes you. You can't move, you can't punch, you can't do anything, and you have zero time to react to it or counter it or dodge it or do fucking anything. Like, that one I have plenty of time to dodge, right? Like, that's a fair attack because he winds up, you have plenty of time to react to it. So, like, if you get knocked out from that, then okay, fine. You had a chance to react and you didn't. But that other one, there's literally no time. He just, it's like the insta-kill melee attack in Halo 4 or Halo, well no, not Halo 2, because Halo 2 surprisingly actually does give you time to react to the insta-kill melee. But Halo 4 and Halo Reach, and to a lesser extent Halo 5, have that exact same thing. And it's crap there too. I'll recharge my stamina. Like that right there. That's the move I'm talking about. Oh, did I finally get him? Is he finally fucking dead? Holy shit, he's, oh my god, finally. Fucking finally. Finally.
It's time. You admit. Indiana. I won.
That boss fight belongs in a museum. But not a good one. A crap like Dave's Junk Museum. Also, I'm pretty sure some of those kicks hit me when I was like way further away. Like I should have. Some of the kicks were like, yeah, okay, that's fine. But the other kicks, I was like way further away from him. Like 3 yards away, and still it was somehow connecting with me.
I warned you, Indiana. I know karate.
You and me, Jones. The end of the war.
Wait, we're still going? Really? Oh, this is so. Oh, fuck off. What are you? Why are you stupid? We're attached by the same whip. You're not very smart. If either one of us lets go, we're dead. We're attached by the same fucking thing. Are you kidding me? What the fuck? Also, does my health not regenerate? Okay, my health, at least my health regenerates. Can I block when he does that? Yeah, okay, I can block when he does that. This is so fucking terrible. Come on. It's so boring. Just kick. Just kick. Kick again. His AI just breaks sometimes. You kick him and then you block, and then you kick him and then you block, and it's so lame. And it doesn't even make sense why they'd be fighting right now. The story is at odds, the characters are at odds with this fight. I am at odds with, everything is at odds with this stupid fucking fight. Oh, now I can, what shit? What dog shit? What absolute fucking dog shit?
Get away from there!
Move!
You must have caused this!
Move away!
I will not let a degenerated monster like you tell me what to do! This is my...
You were born!
This is my...
Literally just standing at Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Indiana Jones!
Focus!
Off boat! Now! Jump!
You don't know how to swim!
Lucas.
You think you survived?
I honestly have no idea.
I think you proved it was worth it.
I'm too annoyed to find that charming. Like, genuinely, I'm not, with no exaggeration, one of the worst final bosses in a game. Nice. Real smooth. Seamless. Most polished game in Xbox history in the last 10 years. Halo Infinite, Hi-Fi Rush, Forza 5, nah. Nope. No siree, Bob. Indie's way too far to the... What is framing? What is shot composition?
Thank you.
Why was Indy so far to the right of that shot?
Stick around for a little while.
Let me
get
guess.
some friends.
Wait, don't tell me. Was it designed for the letterbox aspect ratio and then they didn't actually adjust it properly for full screen mode?
I have a hell of a story.
Is that the
to
reason
tell.
why? Is that the reason why it looks so shit?
And
you
I
think?
think you will be too busy chasing the past.
I don't know. Think I could make room for other things?
Lovey. Not now. Too much is at stake. Adios, Rambo. Jones! when all of this is over. Maybe we can have that fancy dinner!
I like that.
Oh, please tell me the credits are gonna blink in and out every time the background shot. Please tell me the credits are going to blink, because that's what happened with all the subtitles. It would be please change the shot. Cut to another shot. Do it. You won't. I dare you. Cut to another shot. Come on, do it. I need to see. Don't just fade to black. I need to see if I was hallucinating or if every single time text appears on screen, it just shits itself. If the background shot changes to another shot. No? You gonna blue ball me here? Are we not gonna find out? Alright. Well, that wasn't a bad game. By no means was that a bad game. It certainly it did not give a very good first impression, nor did it really leave a good last impression with the player. Because holy shit, that boss was awful. Phase 1 was annoying because of his stupid kick attack that can hit you from like halfway across the boat, it felt like, and the whip that can definitely hit you from like the entire way across the boat, which just makes it very easy to cheese it, because you just get a few punches in, run away, it recharges your stamina. He pulls you right towards him to allow for free hits on you. But the problem is that it's gonna fade. Fuck you. Bullshit, just fades. I mean, it's how it happened in the original movies as well. I do give props for the credits ending like that. In fact, for as minor as it may be, I have a longing for the old days of credits where it would just, the credits would appear over the movie as it was ending rather than fading to black, and then the credit sequence would start. Although I do have an appreciation for the modern credit sequences and things like The Incredibles, where it's more, you know, like the end credits are an art in and of themselves, but I also have a longing for these older days where like you have a final shot of Indy riding off into the sunset, and then another, like in Last Crusade, or in this, except it's Gina flying off, but you get the point. And then the credits will start playing over top of that. So I do commend them for keeping that consistent, which Dial of Destiny certainly didn't. But I just wanted to, I wanted to, because I swear, I might have blinked and missed it, but it felt like the credit text was doing the same thing that the subtitles did for the rest of the game, where if the shot changed to another, if the camera moved to another shot, then the subtitles would disappear and reappear as they changed. But yeah, the game's not bad. Not at all. It had a really bad opening. Like, it just, I can't tell you how much it annoyed me that they just ripped the original opening from Raiders of the Lost Ark one for one. Because, like I explained at the beginning of the series, you're setting yourself up for failure, because there is no way to recapture the magic of the opening of Raiders of the Lost Ark. You can't do it. To try is a fool's gamble. Because it's guaranteed to be worse. It's gonna have worse cinematography, worse acting, worse staging. Even if you copy it one for one, it just it's not gonna look anywhere near as good. A lot of the detail isn't there. It's just, and it really doesn't help that because I played in full screen mode, but Raiders of the Lost Ark was shot for widescreen, they didn't adjust the staging. Like, it's very clearly just, and I proved it with the editing, they just cropped it. All they did was crop the shot. They didn't do what Pixar did for A Bug's Life, or for any of their early movies that were, like for A Bug's Life was released in widescreen in theaters, but then for the home version they had it. They restaged all the shots so that they could actually fit everything inside a 4x3 home video full screen. They did not do that here. All they did was just crop the shot and hope you wouldn't notice, which, don't worry, I did. Trust me, I did. It's just worse all around. Like, I can't even, what is the appeal of having Indiana Jones run away from the boulder when you're in first person and you can't even see the boulder? Like, you could tell me the boulder wasn't there and I would believe you, because you can't see it. You actually just can't see it. And I think the part that annoyed me the most was when you're going towards the idol and they have you do this stupid, like, place your torch on all the pedestals instead of just carefully stepping around it like Indy did in the actual movie. And because that takes longer than it took Indy to reach the idol in the movie, the music, there's not enough music to account for the added time spent doing things. So the music just runs out. They don't loop it, they don't extend it, they don't do anything. It literally just stops and kind of sucks all the tension and all right out of the scene. So yeah, I was very annoyed by it, especially because, as I suspected, it ended up not really mattering to anything at all. They ended up not paying that off that it could have been taken out of the game and you would lose nothing. You would lose absolutely nothing. Except, like there was one line, I think, when Indy was like, oh, this looks like the idol where I found or this looks like the temple where I found the head, the golden head, the name of which escapes me right now, but the golden idol that he got, that he gave to Belloc, which you didn't really need. You didn't need to have the opening. If that is justification, not worth it. Not even remotely worth it. There were other references that were nice, that were more, maybe not subtle, but they weren't as in your face. Like if you accidentally shoot the tail during the Shanghai escape sequence, he's like, they got us, which is, that's cute. That's a nice little reference to Last Crusade without it being right in your face, like beating you over the head with it. But yeah, I don't. When this game is great, it's great. Like right on par with Spielberg's direction from the original trilogy. Genuinely top-notch stuff. All the temples, every single temple that we explored was excellent. Art direction was amazing. It all looked so vibrant, so colorful, so engaging. Puzzles were pretty cool, even if a lot of them were really simplistic and weren't particularly hard to solve. They were still, they were fun little brain teasers. I liked them a lot. And the story, genuinely top-tier character writing. They actually, okay. So remember when we first got to Sukhothai, and I mentioned how it seemed like they actually weren't going to pull a Crystal Skull and Dial of Destiny and just completely forget about a plot point that was set up earlier, that they weren't just going to completely drop it later on and pretend like it never existed. Well, seems like that was giving it a bit too much credit, because they did do that. Like, Indy got fired from no, actually, it's worse, because they introduced a new plot point, not even at the beginning, but halfway through, or a little over halfway through, when we got to Sukhothai. Indy was on the phone with Brody, and he was like, you got fired from the university, and he was like, what? And then that never comes up again. They don't resolve it. He just flies back. I mean, maybe they're setting up a sequel, because I'm sure with how successful this game has been, I'm sure they're gonna make another Indiana Jones game. They don't pay that off. It doesn't get resolved at all, which is really, really annoying. But aside from that, they did something interesting with Indy's character. Well, no, actually, I can't. I had a whole thing. One of the things I was gonna praise was that they tackled the interesting concept with Indy's character, the idea of, chasing the treasures and chasing the past and chasing the history, because that is what he's motivated. His passion is driven by one of a love for the culture and one of a love for this history, and that's what he's pulled toward, rather than his more mundane university life. But they didn't explore that really anywhere near as much as I was hoping they were going to. And again, they didn't even fully pay it off. They just completely forgot about that plot point, which sucks. His personality in general, again, you can tell that Spielberg and Lucas were very heavily and directly consulted in the making of this game. It's very clear. His personality is spot on accurate, except for when he makes stupid Spider-Man quips when he's fighting enemies. That's very much not what he would do. He just shuts up and beats the shit out of you. Like, afterwards, sure, but mid-combat, while I'm trying to focus, like, no. That's not something he would do. And Troy Baker, I go back and forth on. His impression of Harrison Ford is scarily accurate. There's a couple lines where he either sounds too soft-spoken for the situation, or too energetic and too over the top for the situation. But 99% of the time, he did a really, really excellent job, and I would happily like to see him back for whatever future Indiana Jones game they make, because I don't think anyone else could do the voice as accurately. Like, all the other Indiana Jones actors that have played the role in other games, they've done a good job. I wouldn't say any of them done a bad job, but you can still tell that they're not Harrison Ford. Whereas this, like, if you're just a casual fan and you don't like rewatch the movies and you don't pay that close attention and you just kind of watch them casually for fun, I think I could probably convince you that it was Harrison Ford who did the voice. Assuming you obviously also didn't know how old Harrison Ford was or when this was made or anything like that. Because obviously that would give it away that they didn't go back in time and take a young Harrison Ford and drag him to the future to record lines for this game. I think I could convince you that it was Harrison Ford who did the voice for this game. Because it really is scarily accurate how good that was. Other characters were cool. I like Gina. Gina was great. Especially, I mean, granted, anything after... Because the last partner Indy had on an adventure was Helena Shaw, who's one of the worst things about the Indiana Jones franchise. I hate her so much. But Gina was, like, even divorced from the whiplash of coming off of that movie. Gina was great. There were some times where it was God of War Ragnarok style puzzle assistance where, like, the Succothai Temple, I think, was the worst example of it. Like, the last one we did right before we went to Iraq, where she found the secret entrance, she found the wall you have to boost her up into, and then when you walked into the giant chessboard or whatever, and he was like, what is this? And then she's like, Dr. Jones, don't you see? It's the game. And like, yeah, obviously it's the game. Did he not figure that out? Did he need you to figure that out? So there were some times that were annoying like that, but for the most part, it was a team effort. Generally speaking, it was a team effort between both Indy and Gina. It required both of their skills in order to get through this game in one piece. But there were just a couple times when it was like leaning too heavily in her direction over the other. I also don't like they really didn't sit with, like, I know her sister kept coming up again after that part, but for the it's the actual moment where Gina finds her sister's corpse doesn't really feel like we sat with that moment for anywhere near long enough. I don't know. We feel like we moved on from that way too quickly. And if you're curious why I'm making such a big deal about Gina, like Indy and Gina both equally contributing to the game and to the action, it's because in Dial of Destiny, Indy didn't really do much of anything. I think he had one scene, he had one moment where he figured something out for himself and Helena wasn't the one to do all the work. And that one moment was in the trailer. So it wasn't even a surprise when it happened, which is really, really lame. Because, like, Indy wasn't... It's just... You know, I'm not going to rant about Dial of Destiny. My point is, clearly this game has a lot more respect for Indiana Jones' character than Dial of Destiny did. That much is... For all of this game's many faults, of which I will go over a couple of them in a minute here, the respect it has for Indiana Jones as a franchise and as a character is unparalleled. And for that alone, I can't hate this game. I can be really frustrated with it, and I can hate playing it sometimes, but I can't hate the game itself because it clearly has a passionate love for the character. Like that scene in Sukhothai where Indy was challenged on his knowledge of the culture, and he just fluently, breathlessly, effortlessly expressed it is like, that's what it's all about. Because Dial of Destiny, I mentioned this earlier in the series. Helena was like, "Oh, you're just a, I forget what the line is. You're an aging grave robber." Or sorry, it's so stupid. It's something about saying, "Don't pretend you're doing this for anything noble. You're a grave robber who's doing it for the thrill," or something stupid like that. And there's nothing like that in this. Like they tease it, they flirt with it when Gina has a line similar to that, but there's Indy does push back against it, and then later on is proven that it's that's not what he's not in this to just tarnish history or tarnish people's cultures. He's in it to protect them and to preserve it and to fight for it and to preserve this history. And that's awesome. That's really cool that they understand that. And, what else for a story? Oh, Voss. I like Voss. I don't love Voss. He doesn't really exude... There's nothing about him that really draws you to him as a villain the same way characters like Belloc or Molaram or Donovan Patton or even Spalko. Spalko was probably the weakest of the original villains. Obviously not counting Dial of Destiny. But she has a cool design. She has a cool personality. The fact that she wields a sword, that's pretty neat. I wouldn't put Voss on par with any of those, I don't think. But, you know, he has an interesting modus operandi in that he's like, there's a line earlier where he's like, there's nothing easier to manipulate than a, what was it, like a weak man or something like, or like an insecure man, which, like, yeah, it speaks to his, how he views the people. Like, he doesn't really respect those beneath him. He just sees them all as very easily manipulatable and, like, playing into their insecurities and their, like, lacking confidence in their own masculinity, if you will. So the stuff is interesting stuff going on there, but I just don't think he himself really stands out as anything unique as a villain. So I don't know. I like him. I don't love him. I don't hate him. I kind of go back and forth on Voss. But the action scenes were a disaster. Absolute disaster. Every time action was involved, everything just shit the bed immediately. Like, that was like Looney Tunes Tom and Jerry shit in Giza, in that fight, where, like, I don't know how, I would need to go frame by frame for all of these scenes to figure out what exactly went wrong, but I know there were some pretty clear breaches in choreography for where everyone was, how people would get their hands on guns, how people wouldn't see other people sneaking up on them and attacking them. The one in Nepal was really bad. That was when Gina cooked a grenade for like a year, and it took forever to go off. The one in Sukhothai was laughably bad, because it's like, the dude put up a shield, or like he held up a giant rock, and there's like, aha, you can't shoot me now. I have a rock in front of me. Don't shoot my legs, and don't move to the left or right slightly to get around the rock so you can shoot us again. Don't do any of that. Just stay right there. Don't move a muscle. Act like dumb as opposed to bullet sponges. And we win. It's just that easy. And that, again, the whole final battle was just stupid as shit. I don't know why. Like, I guess I get it. Like, oh, he's blinded by rage. He hates Indiana Jones. He thinks it's all his fault. But, like, you're gonna die. If he falls, you go, if any of you did, you're attached by the same whip rope. Dumbass. And I guess that leads into a conversation about the action set pieces as a whole throughout the game. Some of them, like the boat chase was awesome. Loved the boat chase. Boat chase is really cool. That felt like something that would have been in one of the original Indiana Jones movies. It kind of was reminiscent of the Venice boat chase in Last Crusade. A little more crazy, a little more off the walls, but still mostly grounded. That one was pretty cool. I like that one a lot. The escape from Shanghai, I'm mixed on, because on the one hand, it was awesome to play, like holding on to the plane by a whip and climbing up into the plane and jumping to another plane and taking it for yourself. But also, like, what the fuck? So we begin with launching up, like, I didn't realize when I realized that they were gonna launch the plane off of the broken building at an angle, I was like, there's no way we're actually gonna, oh no, we're okay, then that's interesting. Why is that? I don't think that should work the way you think it works. Like, it's not even like, the jumping onto the plane is one thing, as far as, like, for awesome as that is, there's no way that should have worked. The plane should have just flown right past you, you should have plummeted to the ground. But putting that aside, taking off, like, the plane was, like, lodged into the building. It, like, crashed there, or was flung there. How the hell did it take off? How did it get enough of a runway to launch into the... Whatever. So I'm mixed on it because it was fun, but also really stupid. But the one in Nepal, like, the Shanghai escape gets away with it only because, for as dumb as it was still, like, dumb fun. It was fun to play for as silly as it was. But the Nepal escape sequence was so on rails, it physically hurt me. Like, it really just feel like a Sony third-person over-the-shoulder scripted sequence where you go... It's not like you're figuring out your own way to escape, to get from one end of the ship to the other. You go along a predetermined scripted path. You have to wait for things to carry you into place. You're sitting there and looking up above while Gina is doing all the fighting for you, and it's so on rails, it's so scripted, and there's nothing satisfying about that. Whereas at least the Shanghai chase was satisfying. And I think that's enough about the story and like the set pieces and the action and all that. So then there's, you know, the gameplay and the level design, which, I mean, as far as level design is concerned, there were a lot of invisible walls and just arbitrary barricades that prevent players from going to certain places. Like in the, I think it was episode 2, when we first arrived in Vatican City, when it was still nighttime. I wanted to jump on top of a roof that was below me. I tried and it killed me. And I thought, that doesn't look like a fall that should kill me. So then I tried to jump on the roof next to it, same height, and it didn't kill me. So it wasn't a fall distance thing, it was just, oh, we as the developers don't want you going to this part of the map. So we're gonna make it arbitrarily kill you if you go here for literally no reason. So that sucked a lot. And as far as the rest of the levels design was concerned, I don't know, they front-loaded so much stupid shit. Like, and in fairness, a lot of it was confined to Vatican City, like, you know, going on the fetch quest to get enough money to buy the camera, or using the camera to go take pictures of symbols around the city, both of which were main objectives. I don't know why you would put that in the opening main level of the game, because that left, for like 3 solid episodes, I had a really bad taste in my mouth going into this game. And then you have the whole FNAF minigame where the scorpions are attacking you and you have to blow sand in their faces. That was, what? That's just so self-evidently silly. I feel it would be an insult to your intelligence for me to explain why it's a stupid minigame in an Indiana Jones game to blow sand in the face of scorpions so that they don't bite you. And then that whole dream sequence. At least the dream sequence, I think, was an optional side quest. But still, what was the point of that? Why was that? Why? Just, why was that a thing? And I guess one other minor thing that kind of messes with my immersion, it's really weird that none of the NPCs react to you whipping them or punching them. Like, they don't even, like, I'm not saying you have to go all the way with what Halo Combat Evolved does, where if you kill a friendly in the opening mission, they all turn against you and start trying to kill you. Like, you don't have to go that far. Just any kind of reaction, like, hey man, what the hell? Just something to make me feel like they're living beings, to make this world feel lived in, and to make it feel like they aren't just bundles of code going down pre-scripted paths that don't have lives. It's just, I don't know, that's a minor point, sure, but it feels weird. It also feels weird seeing Gina, like, I get that she's a plot character so she can't die, but seeing her tank so many hits from all the bad guys when I die in like 2 hits because she's invincible, and seeing her not be able to be detected by any of the enemies, I don't know. That just feels strange. But not quite as strange as the clunky inventory management, where it's like the down arrow is only for the health items, and if you go 1 slot too far past the item you were looking for, you can't push up on the D-pad to go up to it, because that'll take you to the utility section on the up section of the D-pad, which has your lighter and your camera and all that stuff. Just very, very clunky to use. There were times I would try to pull out an item and it just wouldn't let me. It didn't feel satisfying or fluid or natural to use at all. And then I think that leaves us with the only, well, I guess I could talk a little more about, so Vatican City as a level I wasn't really fond of because it just felt, I've said this before, a lot of it was really tight alleyways. It didn't feel, for how this game is structured, with it being mainly just, they set you loose into an open area, and you can either follow the main golden path if you want, or you can run around, do a bunch of side quests. That doesn't really work for a level like Vatican, I wouldn't say, because so much of it feels so closed off and restricted, and it doesn't lend itself well to open traversal, unlike a level like Giza, which very much did do that. That was way more well-suited for the type of gameplay that, or for the type of mission structure that this game offers. I really liked the Giza level. It lent itself to the mission structure a lot better. Sukhothai was pretty cool too. That was, I mean, the boat was it took a little longer to go places with the boat. That felt like, I don't know. The traveling back and forth with the boat was a little annoying, but wasn't the end of the world. And yeah, I think that those are the three main, like, large open areas, right? It's Vatican City, Giza, and then we had a brief stint in Nepal, but that was mainly a linear, story-driven thing. We had a brief stint in Shanghai, which was just an escape sequence. So yeah, I think those are the three big, open-ended zones of the game, if you will. And I think that leaves us with just the mechanics themselves. Which, if you haven't noticed, I don't like. I don't like a lot of this game's mechanics. The stamina meter is fine for combat, because otherwise you could just spam your punches constantly, and there would be no stopping you. So I get why stamina has to be there for regular combat, but why is stamina there for... I even get why it has to be there for sprinting, but why does it have to be there for, like, whip swinging and climbing? Like, you aren't climbing any ledges or whipping up any walls while you're in the middle of combat. So it's not like it's another element you have to balance. Like, if I'm in a cave or a temple exploring at my own leisure, why exactly do I have to stop after 5 seconds of climbing along a wall? Like, there's no one around me, there's no enemies, there's nothing that's gonna get me. I'm just forced to wait for my stamina meter to recharge for, like, no reason. That feels really weird. I guess the elephant in the room is the whole first-person thing. I did get used to playing in first person, but I still wish it wasn't. Like, I don't understand why this game had to be in first person. Especially when a lot of the major set pieces, like you know, hanging onto the plane in Shanghai, a lot, and like whip swinging is done in third person. But honestly, I kind of get the sense that those things, the only reason why those are in third person is for motion sickness reasoning, because I imagine if you were to whip swing constantly in first person in this game, that might be a little disorienting for some people, so that might legitimately be the only reason why there's any third person sections in this game at all outside of cutscenes, which is really annoying. And it leads to a lot of weird transitions going from first person to third person. And again, you get used to it at some point, but like, it's not something you should have to get used to when you could have just made it third person to begin with. And there's also a lot of, you know, standing around, like there in Antonio's office in Vatican City. What could have so obviously and easily been a cutscene, well, I guess not easily, that's why they didn't do it. What should have been a cutscene of you examining all the photos on the table, instead is just you standing around doing nothing, and then moving the magnifying glass from one thing to the other. That should have been a cutscene. There's no reason why that shouldn't have been a cutscene. But, you know, cutscenes take more time to make, so they just didn't make one for that. There's also a lot of QuickTime events, like every door you open, every keyhole you turn is some kind of QuickTime event. It's a lot of grabbing onto people's hands and lifting people up to ledges. And it all gets very tiresome, and I don't like it really at all. And then I guess I've beat around the bush long enough. The combat sucks. The combat really, really sucks. It's so boring and dull. It's just, you spam right trigger and left trigger, and maybe once... The only time I ever really had to use the dodge mechanic was during the final battle against Voss. That's it. That's really it. The rest of it was not essential whatsoever. The whip wasn't really that essential either. I mean, there was a couple times it was useful, but it wasn't, like, as quintessential to the sandbox as you'd think it should be. Which, like, you could have been alleviated if they just had it so that you could use the whip to pick up items. Which I still don't understand why... Like, Halo Infinite does this. You can use your grapple shot to pick up items off the floor, or off the wall, or off a rack or something, and pull them towards you. Why can't you do that with it? Indy does that in the movies. Why can't he do it in the game? Does that not... That just doesn't seem... It seems like a massive, massive missed opportunity to not do that. And, like, they tried to mix up the combat with some bosses... But the bosses weren't very interesting either, because the bosses went down the exact same way. Just punch, punch, punch. Back off to let your stamina recharge. It was so easy to kite the enemies. The only enemy in this game who you couldn't effectively kite was the final boss, who was stupid for other reasons I've already gone over. But, like, it is so easy to break the AI in this game. To either get them to, like, actually be broken and just stop moving entirely, or to just follow you. Like, if you just walk backwards, eventually they'll just start following you, and they'll never be able to reach you because they just try to punch you to death, which makes it really easy to get the jump on them. because the AI in this game is really, really bad. And I mean, there was one cool boss fight, I guess, in the end of the Giza level where you had to step on the pressure plates to let sunlight into the room. But that's not really that interesting either, because I thought it would be cool, like the idea that maybe you'd have to use sunlight, like he's weak to sunlight maybe. So if you let sunlight into the room, it would force him to interact with those pressure plates to turn them off, like to close the room up again, so it would be dark, or something like that. But that doesn't really happen. It's basically just right at the start of the level, you run over to all the pressure plates and you step on all 3 of them so that you can let light into the room, and then you play the boss normally. Which, like, what's the point? Why not just have the room already be lit up at that point? Especially because if you die and reload, when you reload into the level, the lights are on. For a few seconds, the lighting engine is still catching up with you, which means you can see exactly where all 3 pressure plates are, so you can just keep that mental image in your head of where they all are and then run across to hit them, one after another. Which is a whole other thing about glitches in this game with, like, when I got stuck on the fountain in Vatican, climbing up that, mantling onto certain objects, it's really easy to get stuck. The smoke from trains and just smoke in the air generally disappearing, like in Shanghai, I think was the biggest culprit of that. A lot of the effects in the water were glitchy, like when we were going down the boat towards Sukhothai. Pop-in is constant for everything, for textures, for lighting, for shadows. There's a lot of objects that would clip inside of other objects, like when in one of those cutscenes in Vatican City where whatever item I was holding in my hand was dropped when we entered the cutscene, so it started glitching into the table, which is really funny. Subtitles would keep blinking in and out of existence whenever the shot would change in a cutscene. Gina's hair looked kind of off during the boat chase, but I mean, I've already spoken at length about the glitches in this game, and you've seen them for yourself, so I'm not going to go on for too much longer. Point is, the boss in the Sunlight boss was not as interesting as it could have been, and also like it's kind of immersion breaking because aren't the people that we're fighting supposed to be these like unstoppable giants? And yet they go down in a couple punches. But Voss, apparently. The actual, like, legendary unstoppable giant beasts that we fight take not that much more effort than a normal enemy to kill. But Voss, you can punch him for like 10 minutes and he's still somehow not dead. So that's cool. And then now that I'm thinking about it, also, the guy, Locus, I think his name is Locus. The main brute guy who we team up with in the end, when we fought him in the water, last episode, the dude tackled the giant serpent, and he was like, I thought it was gonna be that the serpent appears and just eats him and he dies immediately, but no, he was holding his own. He was actually fighting back against the snake, and we worked together to kill it. And yet, somehow I'm supposed to believe that if he's that strong, how does Indy stand a chance? Like, how does he just not instantly dome Indy the second he walks in front of him, if he's actually that strong? I don't understand. But then I guess what you're probably going to say is, well, the reason why the combat is so one-note and silly is because they want you to engage with the stealth mechanics. Because, let's be honest, it's not really, like, I thought this would be an action-adventure game like every other Indiana Jones game I've played is, but it's really not. It's a stealth game. Through and through, it is fundamentally a stealth game. It is, first I thought in the earlier levels that the stealth was pointless because the combat was so easy and brain dead that you could just steamroll your way through the enemies. But that was because there was only like 2 or 3 enemies per arena, and also they didn't have guns, and also they didn't have dogs. But towards the end of the game, when they introduce guns into the equation, then it just becomes completely impossible. You have to stealth your way through it or else you die, because the guns in this game are so bullshit that, like, everything, if you pick up a gun, everything in this game, every enemy in this game takes a million bajillion shots to die by a gun, including multiple headshots. You can unload like 3 shotgun shells into an enemy's head and they just won't die. They'll just keep going. Stubbornly, they'll just keep refusing to die. But then, if they shoot you, then you die immediately. You die almost instantly if they try to shoot you. So that's really fun. And, like, it's clearly because the developers don't want you using guns, because they think Indiana Jones wouldn't use guns or whatever stupid shit. But, like, they just don't have them at that point. Why even let me bother? It's just, the fact that Indy can't pick up more ammo for whatever weapon he's currently holding and he has to pick up a new weapon is like everything, and they are doing everything in their power to de-incentivize you from engaging with the gunplay in this game. But then that because like I can see a world where this game is like really focused on player choice, and that you can either stealth your way through, you can punch your way through, or you can shoot your way through. But that's not what this game is. That is very, very much not what this game is. It forces you to engage with the stealth mechanics. There's no way around it. You absolutely have to stealth your way around these enemies if you have any chance of surviving. Which is really, really lame. Because if you use guns, you die immediately. And most of the time there's too many enemies, or at least towards the end of the game, there's too many enemies to bother going in guns blazing with just combat. Like from Sukhotai onwards, that strategy just doesn't work out for you. And I just don't understand, like, fundamentally why they thought they had to make it a stealth game. It's like, I guess they wanted to make a stealth game, but Indiana Jones is popular, so they decided to slap Indiana Jones. Well, okay. I can't say they slapped Indiana Jones over a stealth game they were making, because there's too much time and effort put into the temples and the story of this game for this to just be like an asset flip of something they were working on before it became Indiana Jones. But it kind of feels that way mechanically anyway. Because like I don't Indiana Jones and stealth that doesn't click organically in my mind. It just feels so strange. And it really doesn't help that the AI is just dumb as a post. You can be right in front of them and they won't see you. You can make so much noise with your whip and falling off ledges and they won't see you. But then arbitrarily, for no reason, suddenly they will see you. And it just doesn't make any sense. There's no consistency to why they do or don't see you. Sometimes you'll be right in front of them for 3 seconds, dip behind cover at the last second, and then they'll just forget you exist because they're stupid. And there's no consistency whatsoever to stealth kills. I still don't understand what makes a stealth kill work and what makes it not work. I really do not get the mechanics behind that. Oh, man. So yeah, I guess that's all my thoughts on Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. There is enough good here to where I could I would recommend this game. I would still recommend any Indiana Jones fan play this game. And I do appreciate the very special thanks, Harrison Ford, Steven Spielberg, George Lucas in the credits. That's nice. I wouldn't advise any Indiana Jones fans to steer clear for this game or anything. I would still recommend you play this. I would not recommend paying $70 to play it. That's absurd. But if you have Game Pass, then, you know, why not? It's free with Game Pass, so just download it and give it a shot. Huh? This completes the main story of Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. That doesn't mean the journey is over. All the locations can be revisited to complete any unfinished field work, collect every last one of the notes and items to be found, or just take in the sights of the world. Adventure still calls. That's cool. That is pretty neat. I mean, it's to be expected, but still. And yeah, I guess I'll, Can I just go, anywhere I want? I guess no. I guess not. Well, I guess I'll go back up to the surface while I close out here. I would recommend if you don't have Game Pass, wait for a sale. If you have Game Pass, just download it and play it. There is enough good here with the story and the temples and the puzzles and the atmosphere and the characters to where it's an easy recommendation. But there's so much about the combat and the stealth that it makes it's recommended with hesitance, which I guess I know I said it was an easy recommendation, which is it's like I feel both things. I feel that it is an easy recommendation to tell someone to play this game because there is a lot of fun to be had with it. It is very engaging. It is well made in a lot of areas. But then I think of all the stuff that really doesn't work about the game, and I'm like, oh, but do I really want to put someone else through that? But then again, I should also say that I don't really like stealth games, just so there is that bias going into it. Stealth games have never been my thing, whereas other people are more into that than I am. But even just meeting the game on its own terms, I don't find the stealth mechanics of this game to be particularly well polished. So Yeah, and I'm just kind of dicking around. I don't really... Literally just running around rampantly. As I finish up this little... my closing thoughts on the game. Nice. Nice. I was just floating on air there for a second. I think my hat is actually floating on air. And yeah, I don't think I could have possibly reached my hat if I wanted to. So yeah, I'm not really just generally speaking, I'm not a fan of stealth games. So there is that. But again, even meeting the game on its own terms, I don't... The AI is brain dead. The AI is stupid. There's no consistency to the mechanics of the stealth. I don't know why it had to be... I don't know why they thought Indiana Jones and stealth would mesh. But... It is what it is. It's fine overall. It's certainly not the dream Indiana Jones game I was hoping it could be, and I thought that it might be. But, you know, I still enjoyed the game enough to where I do want to go check out, to go mop up all the achievements and do all the side quests and all that stuff. So, you know, it's not like I hated the game. I'm just very, very critical of it, and I guess I would still say that I am also somewhat disappointed by it. I guess it gave me what I wanted as far as temple exploration and puzzles and story, but as far as gameplay, like the core gameplay for combat and all that, wasn't what I was hoping it was gonna be. So yeah, that's a wrap on Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the series. Be sure to, if you've played this game, be sure to let me know what you think of it in the comments. And I hope to see you all soon for whatever it is you decide to watch next. Goodbye.